All right, guys, we're back with another Funded Trader interview. We're here with Nick. Welcome to the interview. Thanks for hopping on, man.
Hey, I appreciate it, Angela. Thank you for having me. Just excited to be a part of the firm.
Hell yeah. So, we're going to pretty much run through all the normal questions for our interview. For those that don't know, the Funded Trader, we are a funding firm where you pass our two-step evaluation. At that point, you will get funded with a real account from us and trade our capital. You'll be eligible for 80% withdrawal. So, Nick has went through the two-step evaluation. He is now going to become a funded trader tomorrow. So, he's going to be getting his account tomorrow, but he is having some difficulties with his laptop right now. So it might be a little bit before you actually kind of get into it. But let's start off, obviously your name and where you're from.
Cool. So my name is Nick Welch. I'm originally from the U.S. Well, I say that because I'm actually been residing outside the U.S. for quite some time. I was born in Pennsylvania, a little small town, maybe 22,000 people, called Newcastle, like maybe an hour and a half outside of Pittsburgh. And yeah, that's
Yeah, I know.
where it
I
all
actually
started.
know about Newcastle. It's I'm originally from New Jersey.
Really? Oh,
Yeah, I'm down out in Florida now, but I'm very well aware of the Pennsylvania. So that's
okay.
cool. Where are you living now?
In Bali, Indonesia. I came here December 2020. Yeah,
Damn.
last year.
So what sparked the move to get out there?
Actually, my desire to come to Bali actually started literally maybe the same month that I got into Forex full time. I came out to Bali. I was living in Thailand back in 2017, and I came to Bali for like 3 months, and I just loved it. Like I just love like the vibe of it, the kind of just the chillness. It's not too expensive.
Hmm.
And when I went back to Thailand, it was like March 2017. I was like, man, if I ever get to a point where I'm like financially free or whatever, I'm coming back to Bali. That's just where I'm gonna live. And for the next, however many, with three years or whatever, I just kept keeping that as my goal. My goal, like whenever I get there, whenever I'm financially okay, when I think I'm all right, I'm going back to Bali. And yeah, that was just the plan for like going on 3 years.
Yeah, are you over where are you at in Bali? You're in like a villa or where are you staying at?
Yeah, and I'm in a bungalow now. I was in a couple of different villas, but like when I first came, I wanted to kind of do like the outdoor living. I don't know what it is, but like the mosquitoes, like they love me, man. So I can't do the
Damn.
outdoor living. Yeah, man, it's crazy. The mosquitoes are crazy. So I moved to a bungalow, and I was like, I'm gonna stay here probably till like January and try to find like an enclosed living type villa or whatever that I can stay in
Right,
because
because most of the
mosquitoes.
villas is more open layout, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they look good. They're beautiful. Don't get me wrong. They look
Right.
great, but the bugs, man, like the mosquitoes, getting 10, 20 mosquito bites every day. It's insane. Like, I can't
So
do
what
it.
were you doing? Let's kind of backtrack here. How did you kind of get into Forex and like originally what was your career before you kind of got into it?
All right, so originally, I was in the U.S. Marines.
Okay.
So I was 20. So I was 28, 2013, May 31st, 2013. I got out of the Marines. I went back to Newcastle. I was kind of hanging out with some old friends, kind of going into the wrong crowd again, you could
Hmm.
say. And but I knew that I kind of had to do something different. And being in the Marines, when I was in the Marines, I was stationed in Okinawa, Japan, for the whole time for 6 years. So seeing like other countries, and I traveled a lot while I was stationed there too. Seeing other countries and different cultures, I couldn't go back to living in Newcastle, PA, 20,000 people population. Like I just couldn't do it.
Right.
It was like a cultural shock. So literally, like I still got the picture. Actually, I saved it. I Googled how to make money online, and I told my friend like take a picture of this, man. This is gonna be like a life changing moment. I know it is. He took a picture, whatever, and I started getting into like network marketing. Started doing like some MLM, affiliate marketing programs. I was doing pretty good right away, to be honest. And maybe about a year and a half into it, I saw this guy in one of these MLM companies that I was in. he started talking about forex and trading and stuff like that. And he was bragging how he made like $400,000 in like 8 months. And everybody was, bullshit. There's no way. Blah blah blah. And he showed proof. And that was like the first introduction I had to it. And I was like, man, that looks like something maybe I want to get into. But me, I mean, I'll be honest. Like I graduated high school with like a 1.4 GPA. I dropped out of college 3 times. So I'm like, there's no way that I'm gonna be able to learn something like this. When I first looked at the forex charts, it was literally like looking at like the Matrix or something. Like I feel like Neo looking at the Matrix, like what is this? Like I had no idea what it was. So when I first heard about it for like years, I was interested in it, but I just honestly I didn't have the confidence in myself that I could figure it out. And I didn't have the money, to pay for all these gurus or courses or stuff like that. I mean, I still got messages where I would message like people and be like, hey, can you give me like a military discount or something? Or like, you kind of hook me up with like, with like a course or something, like crazy. But so I went through that for a couple years. And then in 2017, April 2017, when I went back to Thailand from Bali, I actually got into binary trading. I found a guy on Facebook. He was, doing the whole lifestyle marketing thing, whatever. And he was doing with FX Glory, the broker back in the day or whatever. He was doing binary trading. He was giving out signals. So I paid him his monthly fee, got into it. I did pretty good, but then maybe after like 2 months, the US came out with the restrictions and they like banned binary trading. So right away, that kind of just went kaput. So I was like, all right, maybe I can still figure this out. So I forget the broker, but I went on to another broker to do binary trading, and I started with like $300. And the worst possible thing that could happen probably happened to me the first day. I flipped the $300 into $1,500. And the reason why that was probably the worst thing is because it made me cocky.
Right.
I was way too confident. I remember I was staying in like this small studio in Thailand, in Pattaya, Thailand, and I was like, man, the dream just started flowing. I was like, man, if I can make $1,000,
all of a sudden you get like super inspired and like you're going crazy.
Oh my god, man, it was crazy. It was crazy. I'm pacing back and forth with my.
You're like mapping out like how you're gonna get to $1 million.
Oh, seriously. I'm YouTubing like compound videos. I'm like, all right, if I do
the only reason I laugh is because this happened to me the first day I started trading live forex. I think I put a sell limit on some like AUD USD. I made $900 overnight, and I was literally like calculating how long it's gonna take me to get to $1 million. Like I was like, damn, like I got this all figured out.
It's the worst thing, man. It's the worst thing ever, honestly. And I think it was the worst because it would have been better if I would have lost right away. Right. Because then I could have been, then I could have kind of like built back up. But because I 5 times the money in one day, the first day, I was like, I was just gone. And I used to gamble a lot. I used to, I'll be honest, I used to play dice. I used to play blackjack. I used to play poker a lot. So that addiction like kind of just like kicked in right away. I was like, oh,
right. Because it was just money earned that at the end of the day, there wasn't any real strategy, and it was like kind of luck. So then
and I was doing the 1 minute time frames. So it was literally like, just put, sell, put, buy, put, buy. Like it was so quick. And over the next 2 days, I blew the whole account actually, and that went on probably for about, I want to say about a year and a half straight every single month, because at the time I have a couple injuries or whatever from the military when I was in Afghanistan, and so I got like at the time I was getting like a small VA compensation every month, maybe like $800 or $1,000 a month. So it's not a lot to like live in America, but you can kind of like skid by in like like Thailand or Philippines or something like that. So I would spend probably, I think my rent was like $350 a month. I'd keep like $200 for food, and the rest of it I would just throw into broker every single month. Honestly, I'm being completely honest. This is why, like,
I've looked up.
People ask me,
I've also looked up the expenses are definitely super low. I mean, depending where you're living in Thailand, but like the expenses
Yeah,
are
yeah,
so low there. It's crazy.
yeah. So like when people ask me like, about like, like my Forex journey, I'm like, listen, I don't recommend anybody doing the route that I did. Like I don't recommend it. Like it's borderline like insanity, honestly, because
Right.
every single month I was just dumping all my money into these broker accounts. And to be honest, I was blowing them within like a day or two. And then I have to wait, 2, 3 weeks until I got my government check again to just do it again. Sometimes I blow the account like an hour. It was like
Damn.
mentally, honestly, like when people like, I saw one of the questions I know, and I'm sorry, Angela, I hope I'm not getting out of line with this, but one of the questions is like, I saw a list like how many accounts have you blown?
Right.
Honestly, I know it's over 40. I don't know the exact number, but literally I've blown over 40 accounts.
But this is
And it's like,
interesting how your strategy was basically like, let me use my disposable income, like my extra income, and let's go in and
yeah,
just throw some money down and every month just see what we can do.
yeah.
Because
And I knew what my problem was. I was always over leveraging
and
every
I'm
single
sure
time
at the
because
time, if you knew about prop firms or if they were more widely available, you probably would have threw 300 down for 50K account every month. I mean, shit, why
oh
not?
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
absolutely.
you know what I mean? That's what people are doing now. I mean, realistically, it's but the reality also is it's like the risk reward is really crazy. I mean, you throw $300 down, say you pass the challenge, all of a sudden you make 10%. You threw $300 and made 5K. You know what I mean? You made 3K,
Yeah,
5K.
yeah. Yeah,
So
it's honestly like a no brainer. That's kind of what got me into prop firms after a while because I want to say it was October 2018 where I had like my first big month. I made like $5,000 in one month,
mhm.
and then after that, I kind of took the extra money and like was like, all right, I need to relax. I'm not gonna trade in December because holidays. So I was like, I need to just kind of calm down. You know, okay, I made $5,000 in one month. Let me just kind of focus. And then January 2019, it was my first $10,000 month. So again, I was like, all right, let me breathe, relax. Go back, back test all my trades, go through them, see what I'm doing right, see what I'm doing wrong, and kind of just take it easy, kind of slow down. And I was able to like actually like start saving. But then when I started hearing about prop firms in 2020, actually it was late 2019, when I started hearing about prop firms, I was like, well, this is like a no-brainer. I mean, instead of me, risking my own money, why not just, pay a couple $100, pass the challenge, and then just use that? Like it just makes more sense.
Mhm. Yeah, have
Uh,
you been funded by any other firms before? You said in 2019 you kind of learned about it a little bit. Like what has kind of been your journey thus far with actually prop trading?
So I heard about prop firms probably like the end of 2019. I didn't jump in 2019 because I think it was like November and the holidays and stuff. So I think the first one I jumped in was FTMO, which was January 2020. I jumped in with FTMO and I failed it like the first 4 times because like the news rule and all the other stuff, whatever. Like I was new to the whole the 5% drawdown and this and that.
And what were you
And I
buying?
was
What account sizes were you going for originally? Were you just going for the biggest one?
100K,
100K. Okay.
100K.
Okay.
Yeah, 100K. And eventually, though, I did get funded with FTMO. Have been funded with FTMO. There's a new one that I'm funded with too. It's called True Forex Funds or something. I was also funded with Funded Talent. I had a 300K account with them, but obviously we all know what happened with them or whatever. I lost the one with FTMO because I'm not gonna lie, I kind of, what's the word? Like wasn't paying attention. I was on a roll. I wasn't paying attention to news that was coming out. And I got hit with a CPI news. One of my so bad. One of my take profit hit because of a CPI news spike. But the
Hmm.
CPI, you weren't allowed to trade it. So
Hmm.
it
So
violated my
they
account.
failed you. Yeah, they failed you on that.
Yeah, my
Damn.
funded account. So I lost that one. Yeah. Sucked. But
So
yeah.
you've been funded though a few times with like a few
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
firms. What has
Absolutely.
been your overall kind of experience you've traded with many different firms, what's been your overall experience with prop trading in general, positive or negative?
Initially, I'm not gonna. I'll be completely honest. Initially, I had like a negative eye towards it because the first one I ever saw was FTMO, and how I was kind of making sense of it in my head was like, damn, I got to wait 2 months to get a payout because I was looking at it as the 10-day minimum, the 10-day minimum. Then I got to trade for a whole month before I get my first payout. So it was like a 2-month process, and I was looking at that like, man, that's not really worth it to me, because I had already built up a nice capital of my own that I was already trading my own personal account.
Right.
So I was like, why would I go with this? But then once the prop firm community kind of started getting more competitive, people started offering 5 days or 8 days and stuff like that. Then it was like, all right, then I kind of jump in more heavy with it or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean,
Obviously,
I think
the conditions have obviously improved, pretty dramatically since 2019.
Yeah,
I think 2019 is really when everyone started to become more aware of all of this. I think that's when FTMO really, started to break through with reaching more traders and everything. Because I remember even myself, I got involved in the summer of 2019. So you said you found out in about November. So in the summer, in like July, like that was the first time that I started a challenge and like took it. And I think at the time, like I even just took a challenge and was like using signals or something. Like it was like crazy what I was doing. Like I was like, what the hell is going on? I was like, this is wild. So yeah, it's since then it's kind of exploded, obviously. That being said, how did you kind of learn about the funded trader and like how long have you been involved, with our community and everything?
The crazy part is that like it was a couple months. It was actually right when actually it was before you guys launched. I ran across Blake on YouTube. He always does the reviews over different prop firms and stuff. And that's kind of how you can kind of just get information about how some other traders are doing because people they're gonna talk good or bad about prop firms. They're gonna voice their experience or whatever, whether it's valid or not. So because Blake was doing all these these reviews on different prop firms, I was following him on YouTube. And then when he came out with the announcement that he was going to partner up with some people, they were going to possibly do their own prop firm. And when it came out, I joined the Discord and was kind of just following along. And I was still in Funding Talent at the time. I was getting payouts from them, before everything went chaotic. So I wasn't really interested in jumping into another one right away. But as soon as they went down, I was like, man, let me go over here. Because to be honest, like I'm not trying to, I guess, kind of like sugarcoat it just because we're doing the interview. But I mean, you guys are top notch. I mean, from what I see, all the funded traders are happy. Everybody's getting payouts. You guys always post the payouts. There's no crazy complaints or anything like that. You guys are super professional. You're always trying to improve the platform to be more like trader friendly. The rules are trader friendly. So it was kind of like a no-brainer. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say I just did another interview with someone who's actually been with us right from the start. I mean, we from the beginning definitely have improved dramatically. And I think the entire focus, I mean, just like Blake's page, it's really about the user experience. Like it's about how can we best make this platform for the trader, right? I mean, we're all of us that are partners in Funded Trader are traders ourselves. Like I've literally at one point I was buying FTMO challenge. Like, you know what I mean? Like we know what people want to have. We know what the pitfalls are with these other businesses that we've used. And we were just trying to, within the confines of like, our investors and everything, do the best that we can, with what we have with our platform. And yeah, I mean, we're definitely at a very solid point right now, but there's always room kind of for improvement. And the number one thing that I think any business should really be focused on is the community. Like you joined the Discord, right? You monitored it for while you were working with the other firm, and you're seeing other people, give feedback. You're seeing the mistakes that happen. You're seeing the positives, like the negatives, and then you're able to kind of make your evaluation based on all of that. And I think it's the most critical thing because then you become a trusted, user of the platform as opposed to there's no community, and then you're just joining, and then you have issues, and you like wait for an email for
Yeah.
a week, or it's like a community
Well,
where people are just assholes like all the time.
yeah,
You
well, that's why I kind of when I joined the Discord and I was kind of like watching, I wanted to watch how everything goes because I'll be honest, when I first went on the website and I saw the design of the website,
know.
I was like, like the animation or whatever, like the cartoon, I was like, is this real? I was like, is this real? Honestly, that was my first
My
honest.
guy's like, wait, is this a joke?
Like seriously, when I first went on the website, is this real? Is this a real company? I was like, so let me get in the Discord, just follow along and see. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
we
but I
definitely
mean,
wanted to make it as like gamified and as branded as possible. We definitely went above and beyond when it came to that. So that's why one thing that we're
absolutely.
doing right now is just the new website, having it be more professional, have it still be branded.
Mhm.
Like we got back kind of the first iteration of the new website from the designers, and then it was just very like cut, like modernized and like not branded and like I don't know, just very like black and white what it was. And we're like, no, like we need it to be somewhere in the middle of like that premier website and then also what our current website is, like just somewhere in the
Makes
middle of
sense.
that. Because the branding is definitely cool. Like we have the whole medieval theme going, we at
Yeah,
least I
yeah,
embrace it in the chat, and I try to continue to like stay on brand with all it. Because I think when it comes to branding, like you do want to be identified by something, right? If we're a community and
absolutely. I
we're,
think it's great.
yeah, I think if we're a community and everything's branded like that, it just creates like it's just a more fun environment, right?
Yeah, it's more
Like
like
a,
a community. Yeah,
as opposed to a brand that just has no identity. And then it's just like, what really are we? Like, what are we really doing here? So,
I agree. Yeah, I love it. Like on the leaderboard, the night and the different rankings, and I love in the chat we're talking about swords up and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I understand. It makes
it's
sense.
just,
Yeah,
yeah, it's just fun,
you do
man.
want to
It's
distinguish
all
yourself.
just
Yeah.
for fun, and it all builds the brand. And like one of the things that we're doing, one of the funded traders, he actually reached out to us, and obviously there's this whole like craze with the NFTs and like, well, like everyone's
Yeah.
trying to make their own collection and like all this stuff. And it's certainly interesting, and like we want to get involved. We don't know how, useful it really is at the end of the day, but I think it's just something fun to do. So we have this one of the traders reached out to us, and this guy's like literally a historian who knows all the different like crests and ways to like make shields that are like historical and all this stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah.
shit, man, if you want to work with us and like, help us create a collection, a couple hundred of them, and maybe when people earn these things, like whether it's based on getting a $10,000 payout, $20,000
Mhm.
payout, whatever, maybe we could incentivize it because we can attach a certain like perk to like, okay, this guy, has earned this reward, right? So now he gets this benefit. Like that's ultimately what it has to,
Yeah.
yeah, ultimately why it would have to have value, whether we have some type of like reward system put in place where you have discounts on like whatever, like, but that's kind of a more long-term approach to the whole idea of it. But yeah, man, I mean, for me, it's all just fun. It's all for fun, man. Like I actually recently, like one of my buddies opened his crypto wallet and he had put in like 500 bucks in this random coin, and then he woke up and it said 110 million on the wallet, right?
What?
Dude, it was crazy. So he thought, so it said 110 million, and we checked the price of the coin on like several exchanges, and it said that it was like legit. Like we were like bugging out. We were like, holy shit, because he didn't know how to withdraw. So I was trying to help him
Yeah, of course.
withdraw.
Yeah.
I was trying to help him withdraw. And in that moment when I was thinking like, damn, if we withdraw 110 million right now, and he gives me $10 million just for helping him,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
what would I realistically do? Like, you know what I mean? Like I get a nice come up, not another like 10 million bucks, what would
Yeah.
what would I do? And honestly, like I would just be doing the same thing I'm doing now. Like I love what I'm doing now, dude. I'm building, like I
Yeah.
literally had that thought. I was like, maybe I would, buy some properties and stuff, but it's like I would
You're
still be
already
built.
doing what you want to do.
Yeah, I'm already doing what I want to be doing. We're building like the best thing you can do in this day and age is build a community. Like it really is with the whole digital like network and everything. We're building a community, dude. We're creating opportunities for other people. People are making money in the community. We're obviously making money. So it's like we're doing what we want to do, and it has the ability to grow into something much, much larger than even the industry leader right now. Like there's a lot we can do to really build this thing up and to make it like something really cool and like special for all the users. So yeah, I mean, I just had that thought and I was like, shit, man, like I'm doing what I already want to do. So what else do I got to do in life?
Well, I think honestly, I think like in these different platform discords and Telegram stuff like that, I can honestly say, I mean, you guys absolutely have a chance to be like even surpass the top industry leader platforms, because a lot of these other platforms, they're, to be honest, they're not doing that hot. They're really not. Just like talks amongst the traders and stuff. They're not doing that great. And just being completely honest, trading in itself, it's a boring game. It's boring. There's nothing besides the payouts and the stuff you can buy from the money. Trading in itself is just, it's boring. You wake up, you do the same routine, do the same thing every day. You just stick to your game plan. It's not that exciting. So when you have someone, a company like you guys, the Funded Trader, where you're building a community, kind of having fun with things, and you're looking at different ways to kind of, make it more user friendly, it makes it more exciting. The community is more exciting.
Dude,
You got
hell yeah.
crazy people in the chats and stuff. You can kind of laugh and make jokes with. It's more interesting because for
Yeah.
the longest, like when I was learning how to trade, for like that year and a half, almost 2 years, when I was just, in my little small studio in Thailand trying to figure it out, man, it was like I don't I don't even know how to explain it. It was like I was such a loner because
Yeah.
I didn't know any other traders. There wasn't nobody I could really talk to from my inner circle about it because they didn't understand it. So it was just, I mean, it was just boring. But I knew like, okay, what's the alternative? If I don't figure this out, nothing in my life is gonna change. If it takes me 5 years to figure this out, okay, there's so many crazy possibilities. And I know that sounds so cliche, but it's the truth. Because every single time when people ask me, if I'm out at a club or if I'm out at a nice dinner or wherever I'm doing, and somebody asks me, hey, what do you do? This and that, and I tell them about trading, and I tell them it's so cliche. Like it's like, again, I graduated high school with a 1.4 GPA. I dropped out of college three different times. Like I'm not smarter than any other person. The only difference is I didn't give up. That's
Right.
literally the only difference. When everybody else was like, I'm gonna try it out for a couple months, I'm gonna try it out, for 6 months and quit, or something happens and they let some type of life obstacle kind of veer them off the path. Literally, I told myself, no matter what happens, I'm gonna keep coming back every single week, every month, every
Yeah.
month, every month, to the point where it's like insanity.
I was the same as you, bro. At one point, I went to college. I finished college. I got one of my first internships. I'm sitting at the desk, and I'm like, "How the fuck do people do this?" I'm like, "This is."
Yeah,
I'm like, "This is." I'm like, "I'm supposed to sit here, and one of my colleagues. I'm supposed to help her. She, no offense to her, she was not very intelligent. I'm like, I'm not getting better
yeah,
working with this person. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just so bored and like this is how you die. Like this is just so
yeah,
unenthusiastic. Like I'd rather
yeah,
risk it all. Literally went home, did the same as you, went on Instagram, went online. Like how the hell do I start making money online? And then I didn't start
yeah,
making money until I hit that point where it was like where you stop feeling bad for yourself and you're just like because a lot of it's psychological. Like I realized a lot of this is
absolutely,
is if
absolutely,
you got a lot of
absolutely.
baggage and a lot of shit going on, you're never gonna make money, especially like as a self-employed. Like you're just psychologically not ready, right? So you got to clear all
Yeah,
that shit up. Once you do, it gets to that point where you literally just have to hit the fuck it button and you're like, I'm gonna make it no matter what. Like there's no giving up. It's just it could happen next month. It could happen in 9 months. And until then, I'm going to eat shit. But at the same time, I'm happy what I'm doing because I'm heading there, wherever that is.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean, I had so many, so like, oh my god, like, so many friends and people when I like in 2017, 18. I had so many people telling me I was crazy, telling me like, like, Nick, you're in a fucking small ass studio in the middle of Thailand, middle of nowhere, like no money. What are you doing, bro? Like, I'll buy you a ticket back to the States. Like, I'll get you a job here. Like, you can come work with me or you can do this. And I was like, no, man, I'm focused, figure it out, I'm gonna do this. And people are just, man, oh
That's
my
the
God, so much
vision, bro.
negativity.
The
It's crazy.
the vision is
It's
everything, man.
crazy.
So you had the vision of
Yeah,
like,
and
especially like with me too. It was all these people in my ear like, you got a great opportunity to just like get it. And I'm like,
yeah,
listen, you know what I mean? That's not
yeah,
the life that is in line for me. And that's fine that you don't
yeah.
see
It's
it.
just it's not
And
me
now these same people are the people that are asking you for the opportunities, now that you made shit
all the
happen.
time, all the time. Is before I used to be real heavy in like social media, like especially when I first like started making like actually decent money in trading. And I was posting all my profits and this stuff, and oh my
Mhm.
God, I used to get blown up like crazy all the time. Can you teach me this? Can you start like a free Discord or like a free Telegram? And I did it for a little bit. And listen, okay, I know I'm probably gonna get some flack for saying this maybe because I usually do, but I'm super open and honest. All right, I didn't get into trading to teach people.
Right.
I'm being completely honest. I got into trading because I was broke and I grew up broke and I wanted to kind of change the projection of my life. That's why I got into trading. So for me, whenever I have tried to teach other people how to trade or tried to like kind of show them the way, I always, for some reason, I get so caught up in trying to show them how to do it that I lose focus from my own strategy, and my trading just honestly goes like abysmal. Like it's terrible. Every single time I've ever tried to teach someone, my own trading has suffered like drastically. So
Mhm.
I just stopped doing it. I don't do it. Like I just focus on my own plan, my own thing, and I'll give somebody, like the basics, like, hey, go to babypips.com, or kind of look at this strategy or something like that. But like trying to like full on go and teach someone, I can't because it goes back to what I was saying. I can't really teach people because the way I learned how to trade was like borderline insanity. I kept doing the same thing wrong every single month for a year and a half. I kept
Right.
doing it. I kept making the same mistake over and over and over again. And it got to the point where, like you said, like the fuck it button, where I was, it's so cliche to say this, but it was like I got tired of being tired. Like I was tired of just making the same mistake, over leveraging every month, have a $300 account and putting two lots on one trade, like crazy stuff, just every single month doing it again. And when you blow your account so many times, because all right, the reason why I was doing live accounts, even with such a small capital over and over again, is because, and maybe this is wrong, but I never believed in demo trading because I was taught from the beginning, from a profitable trader that I met, way when I first started. You can learn the fundamentals of how to trade pretty quickly, in a couple of weeks, in a couple of months. But the psychology is the hardest part to master. So even if you learn how to trade right away, unless you can master your psychology, you're still gonna mess up. So I never traded on a demo account because most people, not everybody, most people know this. You're not going to have the same emotions on a live account that you're gonna have on a fake account.
You're not really learning anything.
Yeah,
By
you're not. You're
by
honestly
trading on a
not.
demo. Like
So
let's be
yeah,
frank. Like go to the
yeah,
demo.
yeah, exactly.
If you want
Yeah,
to back test, maybe go to the demo, whatever, or just back test on
yes,
the
yes,
off on the weekend. But when it comes to actually learning, like even investing money in a challenge teaches you more than a demo because there's something at risk.
absolutely,
There's something at risk.
exactly. You
That's
have to
why I
have
was
something at risk.
that's why I was even saying like if you're gonna trade demo or a very small live account, you might as well go like I know we don't offer like very small challenge sizes, but you might as well just go and buy like some of them offer like 5K challenges or like 10K. You might as well
Yeah,
just
you're
put like
you're better off
150
doing that.
bucks and buy a challenge because the reward is then you could potentially trade a 5K, 10K, 25K account, and there's something on the line. Like there has to be something on the line, or it doesn't fucking matter.
Absolutely, because in the prop firms, they have specific rules that you can't bend. You can't violate your daily drawdown by 5 cents and message support like, "Hey, it was only 5 cents. Can you give me a pass?" No, like no, they're
Yeah.
they're gonna be like, "You violated it.
I
It's
like
gone."
I
So
assimilate this to like basketball. Like you could put up a bunch of shot. Like practicing is certainly gonna help you, right? It's gonna make you like more conditioned. It's gonna help you shoot from certain spots. But when you're in the game and like you're playing to 20, like say you play 21 against some guy, right? And you're like,
Yeah.
it's like point number 15 and you're tired and like this guy like owns you in certain spots. Like the demo ain't helping you then. Like it's totally different environment. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're in the fucking mix. Like if you're on a live account, you start at $100, you're down to $30. Like there's a lot psychologically going on for
A
you to
lot
have
goes
to
on.
persevere through that situation. When a demo, you're just sitting there like drinking a smoothie, like having a good day. Like you're not, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you're not
Chilling.
going through that.
It doesn't affect you.
No.
And that's why even when I kept, even though I continuously, like I said, I've literally blown over 40 accounts at minimum. I don't know exactly, but I know for sure it's over 40, probably over 50. But the reason why I kept going back, because I knew the problem was myself. The problem wasn't my trading. The problem was my psychology. And I knew that, because when I would, some days, some months when I would blow my account, like within like the first hour of me making a deposit, I got to sit there for the next 29 days, every single day, thinking about what I just did every single day. So like doing that month in, month out, over and over again, honestly, it just built up my psychology, because I had to force myself to stop being greedy, stop having FOMO, stop over leveraging, and just relax and just like force myself to learn this discipline.
Yeah, and when we say build up the psychology, guys, really what it means is you're establishing a better level of presence in those situations that before were like rattling you. So you're becoming a lot more present, you're becoming more skilled, you're more experienced, you're remaining calm, and then you're making better decisions based on you having been in those experiences and learning from them, right? That's the whole,
Absolutely.
everyone drops the word like psychology and all of that. It's really, that's what it is in a nutshell. It's like not just that word. It's like to unpack that a little bit. That's really what it comes down to. And you can't buy that, right? You can't buy a course.
Yeah.
And like you
No.
certainly can listen to audios, like all these different things, but it just comes down to like you got to get on the chart, you got to trade, you got to do it yourself. And that's why the courses and all this is like 20-30% of the equation, right? And that's why when you're joining any type of program, really what you should look for is, do they offer like one-on-one? Is there a community involved? Something like that. Because that's really what you're paying for. If you're just paying for videos, it's not gonna complete the entire picture of what you need
Absolutely not.
To become successful. So going off of what you had said before about, obviously you don't really get excited about teaching. You didn't get into the game to teach. It's not really your goal, and it's actually distracting, right? To get the results.
Honestly, yeah.
From
If I'm being completely honest,
yeah,
it is, yeah.
from trading. So I think one thing that we're definitely trying to do and establish is we have the private group for the people that are funded, right? We really want people that know how to trade to meet each other, and long term, like that could transform into something pretty cool. Like everyone's meeting people from all over the world. They know how to trade. It's a lot better in your position to be networking with people who know how to trade than getting DMs from the guy that just started Forex and now you're talking with him. You know what I mean? Like let's try to have a totally different opportunity for the people that know how to trade. Like instead of them going back to these like people that don't know how to trade and talking with them and teaching with them, they should just be talking with people that know how to trade, and then everyone should just be continuing to level up from there.
Yeah, and I want to say, like I don't want to come off as like, the a-hole or whatever. Like it's not that I don't enjoy teaching people like in general or how to trade, but I know even if I teach you the fundamentals or the technicals and all this different stuff, I can't teach you the mental side of it.
Right.
I don't like the fact, because in the beginning, this was my mistake too. When I first started being profitable, I did manage a couple of people's accounts. And sometimes, some days, whenever we have like a loss, small loss, big loss, whatever it was, any loss, you get 20 messages from one person, like in a span of 5 minutes. Dealing with that from like, a bunch of different people, it messed me up psychologically, because now I'm so worried about these other people's money, because obviously they're worried about it because they're not real traders and I'm a new trader. So it was just too much. You understand?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to handle in that situation. It just makes your decision making worse.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's why I kind of was like, you know what? I'm gonna get away from this. and I'm gonna just focus on my own strategy, my own goals, what I'm trying to do. And I'll give like little, tips and hints here and there, if people ask me, but nothing like straight structured or whatever. Like I'm trying to maybe in the future, maybe once I'm more established or something like that. But right now, like it's not something I'm really interested in.
So what account size did you just pass and you're gonna go with?
Right now I'm on the 50K.
You're on the 50K. So you're about to go live tomorrow on the 50K. Do you have plans of getting more challenges
Oh,
and trying it out?
100%,
Yeah.
100%, 100%. I'm trying to plan how I'm gonna do it, but for sure I know that either, like I said, I don't know exactly what day. I'm trying to plan it out with the minimum days and everything.
Mhm.
But in January or in late December, I'm gonna purchase the 400K and the 200K. So I'm going for the six. I'm gonna start 2022 with the 600K, 100%.
This guy's all in.
All in, all in. Yeah,
Saying fuck it. All right. So do you use
yeah.
do you use EAs or anything, or what is your strategy kind of involved?
I don't use EAs. I mean, I was kind of interested in it because I hear a lot of people talking about it, but what works for me works for me. So I never really like dove into it because I just want to stay focused on what I was already doing. My strategy, honestly, it's super simple. For the longest, this just goes to show you how non-intellectual, I guess, you don't have to be successful in trading. Like I was doing order blocks before I knew they were order blocks.
Right.
To be honest, like
Right.
for like since since late 2018, I've always been doing support and resistance, 200 EMA or 100 EMA, price action, and just order blocks. But for the longest time, I had no idea they were order blocks because when I started out, I was only trading GU. I was only trading just one pair for like the longest time,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't that I knew
Just
like
to
the
just to
strategy
butt
I
in
was.
there to comment on that, guys. Every successful trader that I've talked to has really zoned in on like 1 to 2 pairs. So if you guys are new, you're
Yeah, yeah.
watching this, you're trying to be inspired, ditch trading every pair, find one pair, and just focus on that. That's it.
Honestly, absolutely, because it got to the point like I was staring at GU so much, and I was watching like Bloomberg News and different like events and stuff in the government and I remember one day I was watching a parliament vote, and I was like, I can't believe I'm watching this. Like I never in a million years that I think I'd be like caring what they're doing in parliament and
This
like
guy's like a government agent. Yeah.
yeah, like like I was sitting there watching it. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I can't believe I'm so interested. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And like, it just got to the point where I was watching GU so much, I just knew exactly what I was gonna do because that's all 15, 18 hours a day. I'm staring at this chart, this one pair, every hour of the day, every moment of the day, just whatever it's gonna do. So it just got to the point where I just knew what it was gonna do, and it wasn't until probably about a year ago I added in US 30 and like a little bit of GJ and gold or whatever that I started kind of fine tuning, you could say, like my strategy. Then I saw some videos pop up about order blocks, and I watched the videos and I was like, wow, I've been doing this. I didn't even know.
This
But
guy,
I
this
was like,
guy's
all
like,
right.
this guy's the guy created order block. Yeah.
It's weird, honestly. Like, it was weird because I mean, I don't know. Like when I was looking at GU for every day for so long, I don't know. Like I would look at the previous moves and I would do a lot of back testing, and it just made sense. Like just looking at it, like I said in the beginning of the interview, when I first looked at forex, it was kind of like Neo in the Matrix. That's why like that's kind of what the screens were looking like. But after staring at one pair every day for so long, it's like you can just start understanding the patterns and how it moves and stuff. So like I don't know. It's like you can see it breathing. I know it sounds crazy, but I don't know. It's the only way I can really
Well, I
explain it.
mean, at the end of the day, it's like comes down to if you're legit living and breathing with the pair, right? If you're living and dying with the
Yeah,
pair, you're gonna be synced up a lot more with the charts.
exactly,
You know what I mean? And that's
exactly.
why this game is if you see your FX guru or mentor, they're like on vacation for a month. They come in, make 100 grand, go on vacation for a month. Like, guys, be real out here. Like this game is very much like professional sports. Like the more you practice, the more you're involved, right? The more you're playing the game, the more in sync you're going to be. Like the higher you're going to level you're going to play at, like at the end of the day, because
Absolutely.
it's changing so much. Like you can't just hop in and hop out. Like, whoever says that to you, for the most part is just giving you inaccurate information.
You're absolutely right, because like when I started taking trading serious, one of the reasons I was kind of in a unique situation because I was getting my VA disability from the Marines at the time. So like I said, I didn't have a lot of money to really live a crazy life, but I had enough just to get by. So I used that time to just focus on trading. So that's why I was able to put in 15, 16, 17 hours on the charts every single day, because I was living literally bare minimum, paying my bills, like a couple $100 for, eat basically noodles and like powdered tea every day. It's crazy. But and all the extra money just throwing it into trading. And I just stuck on that. So, in a way I was kind of in a unique situation because I know obviously, people got families, people have full-time jobs, so everybody doesn't have the excess time, sit at a computer for 15 hours a day. And trust me, I
Right,
completely
right.
understand.
You're
But
you're much
if you're
like you're
using
much like me, man. Everything you're saying. I mean, you can go on and on about, what's gone into all this, right? And
yeah,
at the end of the day, it's you are where you are, through because of all these trials and tribulations. And it's definitely been a long road, but you're here.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah,
What's
yeah.
like, just to wrap this up, what's one, I guess, point of advice that you would give to like the new trader or just someone trying to get funded out there? What's something you'd give to them as advice?
He said, actually 3 points, if it's okay, Angela, 3 points. So
Mhm.
one, I heard Will Smith in an interview a couple years ago, where he said, people always talk about they want to be successful, this and that, blah blah blah, and it's so simple. Like you figure out what you want to do, and you decide, all right, either I'm gonna make it or I'm gonna die. It's literally this. I mean, it sounds so simple, but it's literally this. It's
No,
just that
that's
easy.
bro. That's the same thing that
It's
happened to
just that
me.
easy.
Is literally it's like 5 years ago when I started all this, and there was
Mhm.
so much stuff going on. Like I had so many people who are also entrepreneurial, and they're trying, to do this and do that and do that. And I'm like, no, like I'm just gonna stay with Forex. I don't know how we're gonna make it happen, but it's gonna
Yeah,
happen in Forex. I don't
yeah,
need to focus
yeah,
on right now I don't need to focus on real estate, network marketing. Like I don't need to do any, like for me, I love this concept. I love this idea. And like you said, I'm gonna live and die until I make it.
yeah. And the other so the second point was another interview during my journey. I always watch documentaries, biographies about successful people, how they got there, because it motivated me. At the time I was really broke, so I was like, I love watching stories about other people who made it, kind of just self motivation. And another interview I watched was Steve Harvey a couple years ago, and he talked about the jump. He was in like a parking garage. He was speaking. Somebody asked him a question, some reporter, and he said, the only difference between me and the next person is I jumped. He said, you can stand at the edge of a cliff, and you see those other people. They're flying on the hang gliders. They're kind of soaring through the sky, and you're like, man, that looks kind of cool. Like, man, I want to do that. He said, what you don't understand is the only difference between you and those other people that are soaring through the sky is they jumped. He said, but you got to understand, when you jump on the way down, before you start flying, you're probably gonna hit your back on the wall, like crack a rib or something like that. There're gonna be some bumps and bruises. There's gonna be a lot of failures, but eventually your parachute's gonna open. You're gonna be able to hang glide, or you'll be able to spread your wings and fly. But I guarantee you, if you don't jump, nothing's gonna happen.
Right.
So
You're
you
just
gotta you
losing.
gotta go for it. You gotta try. Yeah, you
It's
gotta
like either
try.
way, you're gonna fail.
Um,
If you don't try, you're gonna fail.
yeah,
If you try, you're gonna fail. You
yeah.
might as well try, and if it happens, then it happens.
Yeah, just like it's. I know it's not. I know it sounds so cliche. Trust me, I do. But it's just like you just gotta like fail your way to success. It sounds crazy, but it's literally like no other way. Like it's no other way.
No, like for you guys
So the
watching
last.
this out here, like we are living and breathing testaments of getting to be successful is very hard, but it's very possible. For just the average person, it's very possible. But in order for the average person to excel, you need to have a high level of effort, high level of discipline, right? There's going to be a lot of sacrifices going on, but it's possible. We're literally talking here, interviewing because we didn't give up, right? That's the whole point of us being here. And that's why that's why we do these interviews, guys. I know some people are like, I don't want to do the interview till I get the payout. Certainly understandable. But at the same time, I mean, it's like you got to celebrate every accomplishment when you're on this path to success, because there is so much failure, right? There's so much failure that if you're not going to celebrate that you're successful until the end, it's like a sad reality, right? So celebrate success in small increments. I actually write down this one quote. It's basically like, if you have a goal or an idea and you're working towards that goal or idea, you are successful, right? So you pick something, you're working towards it, you're a success because you're giving effort, you're making the effort to get to where you want to be. That, in my mind, is success. So, dude, thanks for hopping on. Thanks for hopping on, bro. Hopping on the podcast. It's been a pleasure. For those that want to, talk to Nick, I'll try to post down below if he's got any social contacts. That way you guys can reach out to him and whatnot. And we'll hop back on next time. We didn't get too much into the strategy, just a little preview there. But like once he actually gets through, gets some payouts, scales up the account a bit, we'll hop on, do another interview. And yeah, man, thanks for hopping on.
I appreciate it, Angelo. Last thing, I will be the king at least one of these leaderboards. I promise you.
I like that energy, bro. Because some people shy away from that, but you got to lean into it. I like that.
No, I want it all. Go for it.
Oh, hell yeah.